welcome to Great Hang, the greatest hang that's ever hanged. I'm your hang, Tim McLaughlin, coming to you with your other hang, Myka Fox. Hello, Myka.
And we're back, huh?
Yes, you seem to have had a fine day today. You watched about 3 episodes of SVU, and I said...
This is nobody's business how many episodes of SVU I watched. First of all, I watched 1.5 episodes. I watch it in between waiting for responses from emails and trying to rest my weary bones, Tim.
Wes Anderson, your weary bones,
Shut up.
watching some bullshit,
Shut up.
motherfucker.
I don't need you fucking judging my viewership of SVU.
I'm not judging it.
I'm
just
not
saying.
counting the hours you spend playing video games instead of getting a real job.
I didn't play any video games today. I worked basically all day. I took a mini nap.
See, I wouldn't know that because I'm not counting your hours.
You did know that. You watched me do it.
No, the video games.
Oh. Well, I didn't play any video games. In fact, I was a bit weary today off of being on the road traveling all week.
Oh, Tim, how was your time headlining in Indiana?
Myka, thank you for asking. I never thought you would.
I wasn't going to. I heard about it all weekend.
Well, the fans didn't hear. They're not here. We should charge like $10,000 a month, and we can put cameras and stuff in the house, and you can just watch us at all times.
Yeah, I mean, that's called a reality show, and people watch that stuff for free.
Yeah, but this is unfiltered. You just look in our house.
Oh, they couldn't handle it. All of a sudden, they'd be seeing Toe's foot covered with piss with her pissy piss foot.
They're watching SVU.
Yeah. Yeah, can you guys handle watching one person watch too many hours of SVU? Am I depressed? Is that...
Oh, sure.
Do you think I'm... and you make a joke about it, I guess.
Well,
I guess that's how we handle mental health crises in this home.
I make a joke about what?
And that is how you successfully derail your boyfriend from talking about his time headlining in Indiana.
So, once again, I get first class on the airplane.
Speed it up. Pick it up.
I get to the airport, they say, Mr. McLaughlin, right this way to your first class seat. And I say, why, thank you, my sweet bitches. And I go and I sit down, instantly fall asleep, wake up, there I am in beautiful Indiana. 4 degrees. It was 4 degrees when we landed. The pilot came over the thing and he goes, it's 4 degrees out. And I was like, fuck, that sucks. That's very cold.
First class ticket to hell. Good job, Tim.
That's right. Went up, got an Uber over to my dad's office, and grabbed my uncle's Tahoe that he sold to my dad that had.
Wait, Tim, you're missing valuable points of detail in this story.
Oh, yeah. What else do you need to know?
Like, how is it deplaning? Was there? Did that take any amount of time?
So,
how did you get an Uber? Like,
yeah,
what was the Uber driver's name and what did he drive?
I don't remember, but I will tell you this.
Jesus Christ, Tim, you are the most boring motherfucker on planet Earth.
I was in the first row of first class, so I did have to put my bag up above in the
Have any of you ever traveled before? These are the fascinating details you don't know about if you've never been on a plane.
Well, if you've never sat first row of first class, you don't know that you can't have your bag because there's nowhere to stow it. You have to put it in the above thing. So I put my bag in the above thing. Not only was I first class, Myka, I was first class with no one next to me. I had all the space in the world. Giants were weeping themselves in the back, thinking of how much space they could have had, but I had it instead.
Giants were weeping themselves?
Oh, in the back.
Is that a sentence should we bring back for a second and deconstruct?
Yeah, let's deconstruct it. It was a
Giants
good sentence.
Giants were weeping themselves?
It was a good sentence and a good guy said it.
Giants?
So I get up to my dad. My dad was like, I bought your
dad was like, enough of this story.
You're the one who brought it up.
No, I didn't bring any of this up. I was trying to talk about how I'm depressed and everything, and it's probably because I have to listen to you tell boring fucking stories about sitting on a plane.
Someday we may never know that. But I get up to my dad's office. My dad had told me that he bought my Uncle Joe's Tahoe. And I was like, oh, shit, I get to drive a Tahoe. Little did I know that the car had 300,000 miles on it and was from 2002. But it got me to Bloomington. I get to Bloomington. Bloomington.
So that also was not as interesting as you were trying to make it seem.
In what way?
In the way that it led to no story.
Well, we
there were
could've
no
been-
shenanigans. Did you break down? Did it start driving backwards on the freeway somehow? Were you picked up because someone used that car to commit a murder?
Well, and many of these things we could have skipped over if you.
All
would've
plot lines on SVU, by the way.
All plot lines that.
This motherfucker's like, I can't believe she watches SVU instead of listens to me talk.
That's not what I said.
Because, God damn it, Tim, sometimes the man who's been to the moon has to kill a woman, all right?
Well, she doesn't believe him.
Even if it's Detective Stabler named his very own son after him.
Okay. Myka.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. Secondly, I get to Bloomington.
If you haven't seen season 8 of SVU by now, that's on you, bitch.
Sold 35 tickets to the show in Bloomington. Pretty good, I would say, for me, a guy who is a nobody. You know? I'm like on a Paul Krebs level of nobodiness.
Let me paint the picture. The king of Indiana comes back to claim his
I'm
throne.
the king of Indianapolis. I'm the king of
All
Indianapolis.
of 35 people were so thrilled that he made it back.
Yeah, and I get to the club, and they're like, usually we have walk-ups, but it's 4 degrees
Today
out.
we're having walkouts.
They didn't say today we're having walk-ups. That did not happen, actually.
Tim,
In
how
fact-
many people were there when the show was over?
All of them. Actually, there were more people there by the time the show was over. They kept
Because these
hearing-
hillbillies kept giving birth and shit.
No. No, the people
There's
heard-
got to be something interesting that happened. I swear to fucking God.
Shut the fuck up.
A
No.
lady laughed so hard, her baby shed out. And the baby's first words were laughs at
That's
Tim.
true,
The baby's
that's true.
was like, "This drink ain't gonna suck itself." The baby says.
We had to put little koozies on its feet and hands to keep them warm.
Dude, you should get maternity bras that said, "This tit ain't gonna suck itself."
That's a good idea. I should sell maternity bras at the shows. I go to
I would cop.
I go to like women's shelters and at risk to talk to at risk youth who are already pregnant.
Tim.
What? They need the stuff.
I'm just giving verbal utterances to keep it moving along.
You have been
I
keeping
just
nothing
said-
moving
I
along.
just
You've been
said, "Oh,
interrupting
Tim."
the whole show.
Why did you choose to listen to that? Of all things, I just said, "Oh, Tim," you know, like some Irish grandma, and you're like, "What? What did I say?"
So anyway, it was a good show. It was fun.
How'd you get to and from the show, Tim?
Drove the Tahoe,
Yeah.
but there was a guy in the audience, right? So I'm
Oh, it's getting good.
well, this is kind of interesting, dumbass. So I'm talking. There's a bunch of college kids in the audience, and I'm talking to them about what they're studying and
So,
stuff.
what school?
It's IU. It's Indiana University. in
No, what
Bloomington.
is school?
Yes, that's what I was asking them. I was like, "What is school? What is this all about, huh?" So you read books here, pass. Talking to them, one of the guys, I go, "You look really familiar, man. Do we know each other?" He goes, "Yeah, we've hung out a lot." I go, "We have?" He goes, "I'm Matt Backus's roommate."
Oh, I was like, Tim, why are you hanging out with college kids?
Well, that's the thing.
pervert?
I was like, "Oh, you guys work in like retail and fashion and stuff." I go, "My buddy Nick John owned Select
Fake
Stock."
name.
Select Stock down here, and it just closed. And they go, "Yeah, we know, we work there." I go, "Yeah, you look familiar." And he goes, "Yeah, I live with Matt Backus in New York, and I also go to school in Bloomington." I was like, "Oh," because you know when you like see someone that you know from New York, and like you would never have thought that they would come to a show in the middle of Indiana. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying?
weird. Out of context.
Yeah, I
Out
was
of-
like,
out of mind.
"Holy!" And then it all came together, like like in a movie where someone's brain just comes together, and you're like, "Whoa!"
I love that film.
Yeah, someone's brain comes together.
That's my favorite film.
The Man with Two Brains coming together, starring Steve Martin, and so that was kind of cool. And then they bought a lot of koozies, and then so then I headlined Indianapolis, which was very fun. First show Friday was good. I told the story about dressing as Kaylee Anthony because the audience was being bad, so I had to punish them, and I posted that on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, you can look up audience forces comedian to ruin show. So
How's that doing, Tim?
It's got 40 views.
Oh,
and
fuck yes, dude. That's more people than who saw it originally.
Actually, no, it's not. I missed selling out my shows by 4 people the second show and 3 people the first show, which was really frustrating.
That's great, though.
It's good, but you just want them to be like, hey, you sold out, instead of the dude being like, we were 3 short. And I was like, fuck. So, second show, a really funny thing happened.
Oh, I cannot wait.
This doesn't involve me. So,
this is a fucking great hang first.
So I told this story on the Patreon with Tom Takar where we go over we're still doing our tier bands for our indie band tier list for a tier list for indie. Fucking fuck.
Tim, this story's going on 10 minutes. Wrap it up.
Okay, so I tell this on the newest Patreon, which is at patreon.com/greathang. If you want to check it out, it's an extra episode every week where I bring on different comedians and I talk to them. But there was this woman in the audience. And I'm setting up the camera before the show, and I see her get up, and she stumbles into a chair behind her. And then her friend gets up, and she's like, I'll make sure she's okay going to the bathroom because she was so fucked up.
This is before the show even started.
Before the show even started, and I was like, oh, no. Because, you see someone like that, maybe they're going to talk the entire show. I was like, I hope this woman just falls asleep.
Yeah, she hits her head, her brains are on the floor, can't talk like that.
No, yes. I hope that this woman has a fatal injury.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to do it. Otherwise, you end up like Natalie Cuomo and fucking like have to dead her in the eyes.
Yes, then I gotta get this drunk bitch to get both her eyes together and look at me in the eyes.
Right.
Oh man, that would be tough. So I'm fiddling with the camera while the host is on stage. The drunk woman gets up again while the host is on stage. I'm in the back of the room. There's one guy at a table next to me, and she comes up to the guy at the table next to me, and she just holds out her cup like this, and she goes, "Water." And the dude goes, "What?"
Does he work there?
No, he paid to see the show. He was just a paid ticket holder.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Water." And he goes, "I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do about that." She goes, "I want some water." He goes, "Okay, then go fucking find some, lady." I was dying. I was like, what the fuck is happening? She goes, "You're no help." And then
that's
walked
hilarious.
out of the room.
She really needed some water, though.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, they ended up leaving, I think, halfway through the show because, during my set, she knocked over all their drinks on the table, and then I think she ended up passing out in her chair, so they left halfway through the show.
So the audience did have a fun show.
It was a fun show, yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't interrupt, which is always what you're worried about when someone's that drunk,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the weekend. It was really fun. Hung out with my dad. Got to,
I'm so glad I asked.
got to go back to Indy and see all the people. Michael, what did you do while I was gone?
Oh, that's a great question. Instead of just telling the boring details of my weekend, there's something I wanted to bring up from the previous weekend.
Some of the details were interesting.
Oh, well, I saw a bunch of, it's all comedy bullshit. Tim, we're trying to stay away from people talking about the business of comedy. Nobody gives a fuck.
We are?
Yes, I bring this up every week. Nobody fucking gives a fuck about the business of comedy.
Some people do. I mean, look at how popular comedy is.
No, be funny. People like comedy.
Oh, like my story I just told.
You could have started with that story and let that be that.
Myka, you build up a story to where the end has a good ending. This is why you don't understand how to tell a story, and as a woman, that makes a lot of sense.
What does fucking old Tahoe have to do with that fucking dumb bitch who needed water?
I just thought it was interesting that I thought I was going to be driving a nice car, and it had 300,000 miles, and the seats were all ripped up.
Oh, you didn't even... the seats were ripped up.
I would have loved...
Why didn't you fucking choose that? Dude, that changes everything.
My God, I would have absolutely...
You just had 300,000 miles on it. You didn't mention the ripped up seats. Oh, my fucking God, Tim.
My God, I would have absolutely loved to have mentioned anything else. If I could have gotten a word in edgewise. You fucking loudmouth bitch. Don't even start with me being like, oh, I wish you would have done these details. When I open, I go... and you go, bah, 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 bah.
I am trying to
keep fat fuck idiot.
I'm trying to keep the show afloat.
Okay. Well, then pop my dead carcass in the water.
It is buoyant.
So you saw Steve Malden. I heard friend of the show, Steve Malden, got a standing ovation.
Very funny. If you get a chance to see his hour, I highly recommend that
Many
you
were saying
do it.
undeserved.
No, nobody said that.
Actually, I heard the opposite. I heard that it was one of the most incredible shows people have seen in a long time.
Yeah, I heard the opposite. I heard more people should have like been above the ground.
Damn, dig them up.
Dig them up.
Show the corpses. Maybe they'll come back to life.
So I've been thinking about this all week, especially in light of all the fucking plane crashes that have been going on. But when I was flying back from Turks and Caicos Islands, right?
Yes.
So the flight in is like just packed full because everyone fucking wants to go to paradise, right?
Yes.
And then the return flight is fucking empty because nobody wants to leave. I was also going on a Friday. Who's coming back from holiday on a Friday? Me, a thrifty bitch.
Right.
So
Jews.
the whole first class and Comfort Plus is sold out, and then I just got a basic ticket or whatever, and I was like, oh, I've got a whole row to myself. There's like so many empty rows. I'm like, this is fucking sick. I was like, I don't care if I get an upgrade. I've got like rows and rows to myself. I can just fucking stretch out. I'm so excited. So I get on right before I get on the plane, I get a notice that like they're changing my seat.
Oh.
And I'm like, why would they change my seat? I have a whole row to myself. And I noticed that they put me in the fucking back of the plane at the very back. I'm like, ugh, that's fucking disgusting. Why would they do that? And I'm like, oh, that's got to be an error. And then immediately I hear my name over the loudspeaker at the airport. They're like,
Myka Fox, please report to the loudspeaker.
well, they did not do that. They were like, MYKA Fox, because nobody even wants to fucking try. And
oh, that's good.
So I
better than getting a Myka, them hitting you with a Myka.
Oh, fucking good luck to them if they hit me with that Myka.
I give you the Steve Castillo treatment.
Oh, I'll fucking murder that bitch. I'll end him.
Yeah.
So I get up there and they're like, yeah, we have to change your seat. And I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, it's a weights and balances issue. And I'm like, weights and balances. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? Like the whole plane's fucking empty. Like, okay, so I'm figuring like, oh, they've like moved everyone around since it was like so front loaded or whatever.
Yeah, they give you a kettlebell to sit with.
Right, dude. They're like, yeah, how about you fucking get fucking beefed up?
Yeah.
I keep jacked. I keep forgetting what the term is for getting fucking ripped.
Oh, that's because you're a fucking puny little pipsqueak, of course.
Yeah, fucking check this shit out. You ever see anything like that?
Damn, looks so cool.
Dude, fucking touch it, dude. I bet you fucking can't.
Holy shit. Ow, my fingers. Oh, my God.
Tim, your fingers were fucked to begin with.
I know.
Just last night, Tim was like, you got to touch my finger, bro. It feels like there's a piece missing in there.
Well, not that it's missing. It's like so hard, and I have no feeling on the tip anymore. It's like calloused over, and I have like no feeling. It's weird.
So we're boarding the plane, right? And I get in, and sure enough, first class is totally filled in. Comfort Plus is totally filled in. I'm like, okay, I'm walking back. There's nobody in any of the chairs in between. I'm like walking all the way back to the plane, and I get to the back there, and the row that they wanted me in had somebody else in it. I'm like, wait, there's all these fucking empty rows, and I have to fucking share a row in the back? And she's like, yeah, it's for weights and balances. And I'm like, wait, what? There's me and two other women in the back, and they're all my size. So we're like combined a max of 400 fucking pounds, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, the three of us are supposed to balance all the motherfuckers who won't leave their Comfort Plus or first class seats.
I think the luggage is back there too.
Yeah, but even so.
And the fuel.
But fuel you lose over the course of a flight.
Right. That's why they need you guys back there.
So slow. I don't know, Tim. It just didn't seem like enough. And I'm like, they didn't know how much my weight is not in the Delta app. You know what I mean?
Maybe they thought that I bought the ticket because my weight is in the Delta app.
Of course. I bet it is. Do you think they like watch how many snacks you take out of the snack box and then they
first
record
class I was taking advantage of my snack ability.
I bet you fucking were, Mr. 2 seats in first class, fucking flush over.
I drank both the waters.
Yo.
Pretty cool.
So I'm like kind of freaking out because I'm like, I was like, when they
you're bad at flying anyways, and we've already heard the stories of when you make up stuff in your head, like when you flew over Boston and you thought that the plane was taken over by terrorists.
We were not supposed to be going to Boston. We were supposed to be going to New York.
And you still went to New York. They just didn't have airspace free for you to land in New York. But
So they took us to Boston and didn't fucking tell us. I think that's terrifying. Anyway.
But they flew you around Boston. They didn't take you to Boston. You just flew around. They still took you to New York.
Yeah, but when you know you're supposed to have landed by then, and then you look on the flight tracker and you are nowhere near you've passed the state you're supposed to be in. Anyway, do not derail me.
But your initial thought was that terrorists had taken over your flight. So I'm just saying.
It was a consideration.
I'm giving the people context for how your brain works in these situations. Go ahead.
So I'm like, do they fucking know how much me and these randomly selected people weigh? You know what I mean? So the flight attendant comes back there and I'm like, hey, is this safe enough?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, did they account for us being really small? And, you know, when you see like a scared flight, you know, like the flight attendant should be like really comforting. She goes, ma'am, they don't pay me enough to know things like that. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That you can't see that shit. They don't pay me enough to know. I was like, well, somebody knows, right? She's like, I hope so. I was like, you hope so?
Well, I mean, she's like me. She just puts her trust into the people above her. I just assume they know what they're doing.
They don't pay me enough. I'm like, bitch, don't you care about your life too?
No. She obviously doesn't. People who say things like they don't pay me enough don't really give a shit about their lives, or they'd be making more money.
She was just like, I don't give a fuck. And then I was like, can I at least sit in a different row? She's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, nobody cares if we die. I was like, if we die because I sat, and then the whole time,
and I kept texting you, you're not going to die because you sat in another row.
Just saying.
Yeah, and then what happened? Then you opened the window, and what happened during the flight?
There were we almost got crashed into by 2 different planes.
You did not almost get crashed into. Myka opened the thing and saw other planes and was like, they're so close. In my mind, I'm like, why did this bitch open the window at all to begin with? It's insane.
I think it's insane not to be vigilant on a flight. If someone had been vigilant for that fucking DC flight, maybe they could have avoided that thing. You know what I mean?
The helicopter?
Yes.
Oh, maybe. But I doubt it.
If a passenger had been looking out the window, maybe that whole tragedy could have been fucking avoided. You ever think about that?
No, I don't. So was that your hot take for this week?
No, that was my story that was me catching up.
Oh.
I've just been thinking about that. And I just wanted to say, Delta, you're fucking on notice. All of your fucking steward people should, like, lie to my ass.
Yeah, just lie to make her feel more comfortable. That lady was probably having a day, too. She probably was over it by the time your fucking anxious ass was already all talking to her. You're probably asking her, like, your tone of voice was probably all scared and shit, too, and she was annoyed because she deals with people like you all the time.
If my tone of voice is scared, that is when she should ramp up the professionalism.
Yeah, but she is probably annoyed like many a boyfriend before her.
You're just pissed because you told a lot of shit that wasn't very interesting, and you got called out on it, and now you're fucking mad at me.
What?
And this podcast cannot keep going in this trajectory. Tim.
Myka, I'm not mad at you because my story was incredible.
Tim?
Go ahead. What's our hot take?
Well, now we've blown past our hot take time, so we'll do the hot take next week. That was my hot take. If you
don't have a hot take?
I have 2 hot takes. I've got them in the fucking bag.
I got
baby.
2 advices today. I was gonna have you pick one. So what's your hot take?
All right, my hot take.
We didn't blow by our hot take time.
We're at 24 minutes. Tim.
So what?
Oh fuck! I didn't mean to do that.
Did you lose your hot take?
Yes, I lost it, but I'll bring it back in just but a moment.
Oh, here we go. It's on Twitter.
There we go. Okay, well.
No, it isn't.
Tim, stop trying to get ahead of it.
I'm trying to be a good guy.
Why?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hot Takes with Myka Fox.
Okay, so basically the thrust of this story, the headline is Angry Bride. Thrust.
Mm-hmm.
Something, Tim, you should learn a little bit about.
No, I won't. I flounder.
He's like, I've got a 2 thrust max.
My plane would definitely go down.
Angry bride struggles through vows as guest lets baby cry during adults-only ceremony.
Damn.
Okay, so basically, this bride is fucking pissed because she's trying to do her vows, and there's some fucking baby scream crying in the back, and the baby wasn't invited.
Yeah, the lady with the baby gotta go.
Right?
Your baby starts crying. Here's the thing. At my church back in the day at Christ the King, there was a room that was soundproof that the priest would
fuck the little kids in, and no one would know.
But also they would use it for moms to hold their babies during church.
Wait.
So they originally built it as a way for priests to absolutely
Wait, is
destroy
this real?
the children. No. No, they built it so that
No, but there was a soundproof room in the
there's
church.
a soundproof room in the church that had a big window so that you could watch with your babies. If your baby started crying, you could go to the room during church.
That is fucking crazy. Why don't all buildings have that?
I don't know.
That is the most. Honestly, I've had such little respect for the church until now, and I'm like, yes, we
Yeah.
shouldn't have to banish people and their babies. They are humans too, but they should be siloed away into a silent room where no one has to hear or think about them.
Even if you misread the invitation and were like, well, adults only, but I have a very little baby. I'm sure very little babies are allowed because they're not little children that are running all over the place. When your little baby starts crying, you got to take it out. You got to suffocate it until it's not crying anymore, and you take it out of the church.
Yeah, or movie theater rules. You can bring it in, but the second it starts crying, you got to go.
Yeah, you gotta go unless. So I mean, this was in the news. Why?
Well, she went viral on TikTok because she was complaining about how this baby ruined her fucking wedding, and all these people were like, "Weddings are for families and babies and celebrate." No, it's not. They're not.
If your wedding is specifically says no kids allowed,
Right.
then that's what the wedding is. Anyone else who says anything otherwise is a dickhead who wants the world to revolve around them, and not listen to what everything else not fall in line to what's being presented to them. This person who brought their baby is a selfish asshole.
People with children think the rules do not apply to them. If you've ever been on a sidewalk with them, they think they're like a fucking tractor mowing down the thing. It's like, oh, why wouldn't you immediately get out of my way? I had a baby. It's like, fuck out of here.
Yesterday, I was getting a burger at McDonald's, and I was sitting
Tell
there,
it, son.
and I was sitting there eating my burger at the thing, and a child came.
Oh no!
So I'm sitting against the wall. I'm at one of those little tables that just has a little chair in front of it.
All right, pause. Ew, you dined in.
I always dine in.
A topic for another time.
I dine in everywhere. I almost never bring food back home. I always dine in at the places. I like watching the people. I like seeing everyone.
So you like the people and the things except for...
No. Well, I still like the people in this situation. It was insane. Someone their kid, like a 2-3-year-old kid, grabs the chair in front of mine and just starts going bang, 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 bang against my table.
Oh my God.
And I was just eating my burger and what the fuck? And no one was doing anything about it. And then eventually some mom came and grabbed their kid and was like, let's get out of here. And I was like,
did they make eye contact with you and or apologize?
No.
It's
nothing.
fucking, I mean.
Not a word to your boy whose 2 p.m. Lunch was absolutely ruined.
Damn. You know, when you're in a Bushwick McDonald's, you expect a finer atmosphere than that.
Yes. When you go into the Bushwick McDonald's at about the time that the security guard is on duty, you expect a little bit nicer of a time.
You were running it dangerous. I guess it was a Sunday. I was like, when school lets out, you don't want to be anywhere near that motherfucking place.
You do not go to the Bushwick McDonald's between 1 and 3:30 p.m. on school days. It's horrible.
Wait, and kids get out at 1 by then?
They get out by like 2:30, but some of the bad ones get out earlier because they just leave school.
They just skip their class early. Yeah.
But any time between 1 and 4 over there is a fucking just nightmare.
I mean, the amount of people I see, it seems like people are like robbing the place every time they leave. just the fucking absurd shit I see. Because I do not go in, by the way. I think I've been in that twice in the over 3 years we've lived in this neighborhood.
Really? I go in there all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I think we figured out that hot take. I think that one's pretty good.
Fuck your baby. You don't deserve a wedding. You should stay at home with your curse.
There you go. You don't bring your burden to me, I say.
That's right.
Ding, 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 ding,
No,
ding,
we're
ding,
not
ding,
doing
ding,
the
ding, ding, ding. It's time for the news with Tim McLaughlin. This one's kind of interesting.
5 seconds.
Thieves use a stolen credit card to buy a $523,000 lottery ticket.
Whoa.
The victim wants a share of the winnings.
Wait. They don't get all the winnings?
This is in Paris. The thieves used a stolen card to buy a winning French lottery ticket worth 500,000 euros or $523,000. but they vanished before cashing it in, and now they're amongst France's most famous fugitives. The man whose card was stolen, identified in police documents as Jean-David E., is offering to split the cash with the lucky winners. He just wants his wallet back, too. He's willing to split. See, this is why the French
This
are
doesn't
such...
make any. First of all, you can't buy lottery tickets with a credit card in America.
This is in France, so...
I'm just saying, like, you got to have cash on hand to waste your money.
You can buy them with debit cards.
You can?
Yeah. The thieves, meanwhile, face the risk of arrest. As of Saturday, the state lottery operator La Française des Jeux, or FDJ, said that no one has submitted the ticket to cash out. It's an incredible story, and it's all true. Jean-David's lawyer, Pierre Duboison, told the Associated Press on Saturday.
Tam, just keep going.
John David discovered...
Haven't you annoyed me enough this episode?
No. John David discovered earlier this month that his backpack had been stolen from his car in the southern city of not gonna try it, including bank cards and other documents. The lawyer said John David asked his bank to block the card and learned that it had already been used at a local shop. At the shop, the vendor told him that two apparently homeless men had used one of his cards to buy the winning scratch-off ticket, and they were totally happy that they forgot their cigarettes and their belongings and walked out like crazy people.
Wait a second. How do they, if it's a scratch-off, how do they know it was a winning ticket if no one's cashed it in?
I guess they, at the shop, it said that, he said they were so totally happy that they forgot their cigarettes and belongings and walked out like crazy people. So they had scratched it at the place. Because a lot of times, listen,
they were trying to get like $20.
When you get into the scratch-off ticket game, a lot of times you scratch your ticket at the thing. If you make the same amount as your ticket was, you just run that back. Money back, run it back. You know what I'm saying?
Tim, no.
Money back, run it back. John David filed a police report about the theft, but is ready to withdraw it if the thieves come forward so that they can share the money.
Yeah, but if the thieves come forward, they'll go to jail. So.
Well, yeah, without them, no one would have won, John David said in a public broadcast to France 2.
They've got to fence it. But the thing is, anytime someone tries to cash it in, they're going to get caught.
Right.
It's worthless.
Yeah. Prosecutors may try to seize the winnings, considering them illegally obtained gains.
That's fucked up.
Well, the money comes from France. So France isn't going to, if they have a chance to not give away $500,000, they're going to not give it away if they ever have a chance.
That's fucked up, though, because other people buy lottery tickets, and it changes the odds when the money doesn't go to somebody.
Well, not on scratch-offs.
Scratch-offs,
it's all a set amount. They just got, like, the scratch-offs, it's the same odds for, like, there's the same odds for every kind of hit. So, like.
All right, move it along.
Okay. You didn't want me to.
I got so bored I forgot to tell you to shut up.
The lawyer launched a national appeal Thursday asking the perpetrators to contact his office to make a deal. You risk nothing. We will share with you, he said, and you would be able to change your lives. The ticket will eventually expire, he warned. Time is working against us. Yeah, with most lottery tickets, you have 180 days to cash them in. I don't know how it is in France, but that's what it is here.
Dude, I would not be waiting very long. The only thing I would wait to do is tell my job.
Yeah.
I'd just fucking quiet quit until they fire me. It's like, why not keep cashing paychecks, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I think about it all the time. I was also, like, if you win the lottery, you don't want the people you work with to know, you know, because they're greedy or whatever. You got to keep working anyway. But, like, I would obviously not be trying.
Yeah. All right, I have two advices. We can go with one. You get to pick which one we go with.
Okay. Can I read them?
No. Me, 20 male,
My
girlfriend, 21 female, got married yesterday. That's one. Or my colleague said something so fucked up, I don't know what to do.
Colleague.
All right. Some context. I'm 26 years old, and I work as a software developer at a company for 4 years. I have a team lead who is also the owner of the company with whom I have worked since I started. He's a normal guy, 37 years old. Sounds a lot like a couple of normal guys I know, me. With
You're 38.
With a wife and two little kids.
Just for the record.
We talk and work together every day at the office. Today he said something so fucked up, and I just avoided him the whole day, and I don't know how I will go back to work on Monday.
Go on.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever had someone say something so wild that you didn't even want to go back to work?
I'm probably that person for a lot of people.
We were having a smoke outside the building at lunch break, and he said this out of nowhere. I want to slice my wife in pieces and eat her. And after I am done, I want to rape both of my kids and kill them. I have a demon inside of me. That sentence came out of nowhere. We were talking about something non-related to work. He said that out of fucking nowhere and went back to the previous conversation like nothing happened.
Holy shit, that's awesome. That'll reset your day much more than a cigarette.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Dude, now your day is split into two very different halves.
Right. There was before he want to eat and after he want to eat.
I want to slice my wife into bits and rape my children.
Yeah, he's got a demon inside of him.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Man, the demon inside of me just wants to bet all of my money on one thing one time.
Tim, your demons want to tell every detail about a mundane weekend.
My demons want to...
Your demons want to fucking be like, well, first I got an interesting seat on the plane, and then I got a car, but it was kind of old. And then
my demons are damn Colin Robinson. My demons want to go... My demons want to go, hey, Laszlo, guess what?
Fucking goddamn.
He never said anything like that before, not even close. Nothing as fucked up as this. I, in fact, have never heard him joke before. It was like something else possessed him and made him say that. I don't know what to do. Do I report
He does
him?
have it was his demon.
Yeah, it was his demon. Do I call his wife? Do I quit? I'm at a loss for words. There's an update after this, but
Why
what
would
do
you quit?
I don't
know. What the fuck?
See, this is where I had a feeling it would go to blackmail, which you always have in your back pocket for some reason at every job. Every time something comes up for a work thing, you're always like, why would you do that? Hold it against them for more money. Get a raise.
See, now, I don't think this is a blackmailable offense, actually.
Okay.
But it's funny because I'm laughing because just last night I was like fantasizing. I was like, who could I blackmail? And
Oh, yeah.
because I was like, Jeffrey Epstein was a piece of shit, but he had one really good idea.
Right. Yes. Get a bunch of dudes to fuck kids.
Well, like, listen, a lot of these people are bad people, and they should be made to suffer.
Yes.
And if, they're not going to be held accountable by the court system, they should be held accountable by me, and I should get rich off of it. And I think that's a reasonable way to live your life.
Yeah, I don't see how that's bad, but the problem was... You would also become a bad person by supplying the kids.
Well, I'm not going to generate a blackmail I'm not going to generate pedophile island so that way there's blackmail opportunities. I want to catch someone doing something already.
Oh.
I am an ethical blackmailer.
Okay, so what we need to do is invest in a camera with one of those big old lenses.
The hell?
So you can go around click-clacking at rich people trying to catch them doing something.
Yeah.
So in this situation, what
I would
you
maybe
do?
at most do like a honeypot where it's like they're not fucking a kid, but maybe they're cheating on their wife or something.
Yeah, you got them holding a kid maybe a little too close, and then you're like, hey, look at this.
You want to know once when there's like back when our company used to do giant parties, the CEO was like bopping around the party and he was like acting like he was a huge celebrity. I was like, oh my God, can I take a picture with you? And I had a friend take a picture with him, and then I made the craziest face in case I ever wanted to blackmail him and pretend he was touching my ass.
Myka, that's insane.
I never used it, and I probably shouldn't have just told this story because if I ever want to try it, but I just didn't feel like it was enough evidence.
Sure. That's cool though. That's like a cool idea.
But I was inspired by Taylor Swift and what's his Dr. Luke or whatever. You
were talking about Kesha and Dr. Luke.
No, there's another one. No. Maybe it wasn't Dr. Luke, but someone was touching Taylor's ass in a photo.
Oh.
And yeah.
Taylor Swift ass touch?
Taylor Swift ass. You're gonna get sent to some wild shit right now.
Touch. Photo.
Yeah. Let's see if that's something.
Taylor Swift didn't want
images.
Is it somewhere here?
Yeah, that might be it.
This one?
Yeah, DJ suing Taylor Swift, smoking gun pic is his best defense. Here's the point: is I didn't do it because I didn't want any kind of countersuit with a fucking CEO millionaire.
Oh yeah, that's all. You never want to countersuit. But what would you do in this situation? Is what I asked.
Oh, okay. Well, we got off on the blackmail thing.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, first of all, why would you quit your job? Why should you be out a livelihood because this guy's got a demon?
Right.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, he's the CEO of the company. If he goes down,
Wait, he's the CEO?
not the guy writing. The guy who said it is the CEO of the company. If he goes down, the company could go down the tubes too.
That's what I'm saying. The
yeah.
guy, the CEO.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's interesting.
Sociopaths. This is how they get there.
So, first of all, obviously, the first step is to find your work best friend and tell them immediately.
It sounds like this guy is his work best friend too.
Okay, then you call your real best friend.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you fucking share the story and then you debrief, which is it sounds like he's just got Reddit.
Yeah. This guy seems to be possibly a dork or loser.
I would snoop around and then I hate to call the cops, but this is a fucking wait. He's the CEO. Did it say that?
Yeah, my ass is almost never calling the cops. Let me see. I'm 26. He's a normal guy. We work together. Wait.
I would probably ask more
I have
questions.
a team lead who is the owner of the company.
Okay, so I would be like, hey man, are you feeling all right? You know, like that thing you said earlier. Like, tell me more about that. I think I would fish a little bit.
Yes, you gotta. And Albert Fish.
What?
He's a known cannibal.
Oh.
He would kill and eat children. He said that the most delicious part of a human was the rump.
Ew.
That's what he said. Myka, I'm not. You're saying you're gonna fish around. I'm not allowed to say Albert Fish, a guy who is a cannibal, and it works perfectly with this.
No, this guy isn't a cannibal. He's a mutilator and a rapist.
But he wants to eat his wife. I want to slice my wife into pieces and eat her.
Oh. Yeah, I would ask him some more details about this.
What do you hear? What do you hear when I talk?
So, Tim, you don't want to know, man.
So here's what this guy did.
It sounds like da 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 da.
Knowing my ass, I don't even think it probably would have registered with me. I think if someone would have said that to me, I'd go,
dude, you would be like, that reminds me of this funny thing I said once.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you ever expected to get a sweet Tahoe and it has 300,000 miles on it?
Yeah, yeah.
But wait, get this. The lining was frayed. What is it called?
The seats were all fucked.
The seats were fucked.
So the guy called the police. My ass probably would never have called the police.
He did call the police?
Said I called the police. They asked me questions if he had ever said anything like this before, if he seemed violent, if I thought his wife and kids were in danger. I told them he's always been normal until yesterday, but what he said was very disturbing. They decided to do a welfare check.
Yeah.
I don't know all the details, but they spoke to his wife, and apparently he's been under insane stress lately. His mom died recently, and on top of that, he's been struggling to keep the company afloat. Even with everything going on, he's still trying to pay everyone and keep things running. She told them that he's not a danger, just completely burned out and breaking under the pressure. The cops didn't take any further action, and they told me to call again if he says anything like that. That's it, and it's out of my hands for now. I did everything I possibly could, and I don't want any further involvement. I will give another update if he talks to me when I get to work on Monday.
Because, yeah, he's going to know who ratted him out.
Yeah, he's going to be like, shit, I shouldn't have said something to this dork on Reddit.
I mean, no, Tim, you can't be saying shit like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He shouldn't have said it at all.
You got to keep the demons in.
You gotta keep your demons in, baby.
That's fucking crazy.
Well,
good advice.
That was a good advice. Now it's time for the best part of the show.
Reviews for the podcast.
This is where we go on Apple iTunes and see if anybody has left. It's not Apple iTunes anymore. It's Apple Podcasts. This is where we go on Apple Podcasts, see if anyone's left any reviews. They didn't. But if you're watching this on, damn it, my YouTube canceled out.
This is me vamping.
If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and while you're at it, leave a comment. We will read it. So leave a comment to our episode. This our last episode, transplant face love story. Myka, I made the clip. I made the cocksuckula clip.
Yeah.
It has been buried by both the TikTok and YouTube algorithms. I think the words cock and suck together that much in a 55-second clip is just not gonna work for these people, but we will see. So check that out.
They can suck my cockula.
There you go. Waj Podowski says, busted at the suck sign-off. Nice.
Nice.
Hydraulic Monkey says, needs to be a prop on DraftKings. Will the podcast get demonetized before the incels attack? That's at plus 400, my man. Hydraulic Monkey also says, hello, Great Hang Podcast. I am the representative for Harvey Weinstein.
Nice.
We would like to back the production of Cocksuckula with them Lionsgate dollar bills, y'all.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'll work on the script starting now.
Did Weinstein also own Lionsgate? Because he was Miramax, but did he own Lionsgate?
Yeah, why not, dude?
Well, we correct people in the comments. I don't know if you remember you doing it last week.
Well, that's when I know.
My cat wakes me up at 5 a.m. Hashtag Goo Gang. That's from Hughes On.
Yeah, dude. Fucking fuck that cat. We actually on Instagram learned a lot of tips and tricks on how to train your cat, and I've done none of them because they require some discipline.
Yeah, I tried to do it one day, and she's just too little cute.
Apparently, you're not even supposed to spray your cat because that's also attention. Cats like negative attention. They're a lot like abused children.
And women. BP Evelov says, this pod is the incel fantasy. Successful woman invites man-child to live in her basement.
He was not invited.
I was.
This is not like Cocksuckula where you have to be invited in.
Yeah. Where he plays video games and works on his quote-unquote comedy.
Quote-unquote comedy. Tim, he nailed your ass.
No. His only responsibility is having to pet her geriatric pussy. Hashtag life goals. I have a couple other responsibilities, and my comedy is what many are calling quote-unquote.
A draw of 36 people at a time.
Tarmon says, oh my God, the feeding tube. Last week's episode was nasty.
It was. Actually, I got a text from an old friend who just had a baby, and he texted me. He was like, just last night I was putting the baby to bed and listening to it like sigh while I had one earpod in listening to Terry Schiavo suck off somebody with her feeding tube. And I just thought that was a beautiful image.
Well, yes, and it is to many and most. Kyle Parks, 312. Shout out Kyle, friend of the show. Hey guys, great episode. I did want to do some great hang math here.
Okay.
Let's say Tim and Myka pay $3,000 for rent. From the lore, Myka pays 2/3 and Tim pays 1/3. Mm-hmm. But the evidence from this episode at minute 21:55, Myka admits that Tim's job is to be her boyfriend, thus stating Tim earns $500 a month for said job. Difference between if they share the cost is 50-50. Sorry for the long comment. Look at that math.
I don't understand what happened.
What's happening is my job is to be your boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
So the difference in rent, if we make that up based on me doing my job as being your good boyfriend, is that we pay 50-50 rent.
If our rent is $3,000 and if you get paid $500 a month to be my boyfriend. Where did that number come from?
Well, 3,000 is just what he said, but he's basing it off 2/3, 1/3, and the 500 comes from rounding off at 3,000 easily. All these numbers change if you make the 3,000 go up.
Right, okay.
It all always adds up to 50-50 because my job in itself is to be your boyfriend. And you know what, Kyle? You're right. And that is good math, and that's the kind of math we like here at the Great Hang Podcast. Sean from Pittsburgh says,
I should get paid for you to be my boyfriend.
Why? Because I'm nice and sweet to you all the time?
No, like in the same way that like foster parents get paid to take care of children that aren't theirs.
No. Sean from Pittsburgh says, suck a golf ball through a feeding tube sounds like a good time. Sorry for being an Albanian. Hey, it's all right, Sean. You can be an Albanian all you want as long as you hang with the Goo Crew, baby. And Morton Leo says, Myka recoiling from Tim's touch makes me feel like I'm back home with my parents.
Aww.
And that's it. That's the comments for this week. Myka, do some plugs real quick, and then we got to get into our Speak Ill of the Dead, and then the show is fucking over, baby.
All right. You can catch me at MYKAFOX on all social media except for OnlyFans, where you can find me at _Fox_hole spelled with a 0 to make the hole bigger. I'm making some money on there, so fucking give me some, goddammit, little pigs.
Yeah, you little pay pig
little
assholes.
pay
Give her
pigs.
some money, you fucking
I actually
piggies.
ran into an old friend, and she was like, I gotta go make some content, and she's apparently doing some foot stuff, invited me to join her. I don't know, listen, I may get fired by the, by the summer, and if so, I hope you guys like foot stuff, because I like to live a nice life.
Cool. First I'm hearing of it. You can catch me at hot_comic69 on Instagram. Of course, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/greathang, where I do an extra episode every week with a different comedian. We had Patreon subscriber Tom Takar on this week's episode. It was really, really fun. Last week we had Django Gold, writer for the Colbert Show, and
Former writer for the
former writer. That's right. It got bad after he left. So, gang, check that out at patreon.com/greathang. Myka, let's speak ill of the dead. I got a guy. You got anybody?
Oh, you better go first, brother.
All right. This guy's name is John Day, and he died by making his own submarine, like the submarine people. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, keep it going, brother. You're
Myka-
hot right now.
Myka,
You're on a fucking hot streak.
Myka, what's the
the Titan submersible?
Yes, like the Titan submersible, except this guy did it in 1774.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. He sounds kind of awesome.
He was a carpenter, and he had a buddy who was a
Dude,
big
a wood submarine?
yes.
That shit is gonna sink.
So he had put like 50 tons on the submarine to make it sink.
That's really funny.
Some guy, so he died at 34 years old. He was a carpenter. He made this shit out of wood.
Sounds like fucking Jesus.
He had spent 6 hours under the water at one point before. So he's like, man, I can go deeper and I can stay there longer. And a buddy of his was like, I bet you $500 at the time, whatever.
Oh, this was on a bet?
On a bet. And he goes, I bet you can't. So he tried to go 120 feet deep for 12 hours, and he died down there.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's how you get out of paying someone $500.
Yeah, and it's also how you don't get paid $500
Yeah.
though. So
do you think they had a previous bet and like the guy who drowned won, and then he's like double or nothing?
Well,
you have to fucking go to the bottom of the ocean.
Well, Blake lost his initial bet on the venture with other gamblers due to delays in construction, and the diving chamber prevented him from making the dive within his initial 3-month period. So he was already behind the 8 ball because he didn't get it done in time. So he already had to pay out a bunch of bets. So he probably worked harder and faster and then made the thing shoddy.
That's exactly what happened to the Titan submersible people.
Yeah, kinda.
That's fucking crazy. Like the whole point is you're doing a dare stunt, like a death-defying stunt. You want to do that safely.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to do that in a fucking rush. That's like in the old Pollock joke. It's like, like you buy a used parachute or whatever the fuck.
How many David Blaines does it take to die at the bottom of the ocean?
How many?
None, because they do it right every time. Go ahead, Mike.
I love David Blaine.
Who do you got?
Also,
I hope the devil's submersing his fucking cock in your ass, you fucking piece of shit, while you're in hell, getting butt fucked by the damn devil.
Speaking of David Blaine, I would like to speak ill of Chris Angel's grandparents, who are probably fucking dead.
Whoa, damn.
What are you trying to do, making a mind freak?
Yeah, damn, what the hell?
You think the world needed a mind freak? We had David Blaine, the world's greatest magician. We don't need a fucking mind freak, all right? So you should have not gotten your freak on and made a mind freak. And now we gotta live with this motherfucker. He's probably still roaming around freaking out people's minds and shit. Fuck you, Chris Angel's grandparents. I hope you're in hell getting mind freaked by the fucking devil.
Yeah, I hope the devil's ass freaking you, you damn assholes.
You fuckers.
Oh, man, did you ever see the one?
I hope they rip your dick off and they're like, is this your dick?
They rip your dick out of your ass?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Great Burt Wonderstone or whatever?
No.
It's a movie where Steve Carell is a stage magician and Jim Carrey plays like a mind freak type guy, and it's like the passing of the torch.
Okay.
But instead of being a mind freak, the movie is bad, but this part is funny. Jim Carrey is the brain rapist. It was like
was that
right,
like early 2000s?
it was like 2013. It was right before it all changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the brain rapist, which I was watching a clip from it the other day. I was like, holy shit. And no one gave a fuck about it back in the day. Anyways, that's the show.
That's the show.
We've done it. Myka, signing off. It is I, a great man, possibly the greatest man to have ever lived. A sweet boy, a man who will not be going in any kind of submarine ever. Your Patreon dad at patreon.com/greathang. Your free feed best friend, Timothy Grady McLaughlin II.
And signing off, it is I, the kindest woman in the world. A woman who believes that if you are weights and balances critical, you should fucking get some of the fat bitches from first class and stick them in their own row in the emergency aisle and balance that shit out. Or show me an inner scale of the plane. Because I was Googling that shit, and you don't want to be Googling that shit before you take off and end up upside down getting offered $30,000 by Delta. It is me, Toey's mom, Tim's girlfriend, a woman who thinks that if your baby was not invited to a wedding, you should not bring it.
I agree with that.
And your friend and podcast host, Myka Fox.
And we hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Bye.